I support Project Return because I think it's the right thing to do. I think, coming from the background that I come from and the people that I've grown up with and the situation they deal with, Project Return is doing the things that I wish I can do for them, for when they come and return home, they will have somewhere where they can feel they can go to. People trust them, people believe in them, and Project Return is giving that to the people.
Everything that they're doing for people in the community, I think, is really important.
They do pretty much everything that a person needs to do to welcome a person back home from coming from prison. I think they give you the opportunity to have a second chance in life.
From volunteering or interning when I was in law school, I realized that there is a gap between when people are coming out of prison versus coming back into regular society. From the beginning of summer to the end of summer, I would see the same people sometimes. And it was just so confusing to me because I'm like, why are you back? As rude as that may sound. But then you start to talk to people and you realize that when you put a person in the same environment where they got in trouble the first time, or if you don't give them resources to make changes, that the same thing will happen.
It's been pretty tough, especially with my brother, my cousins, my friends, all of them having to deal with it. It really impacted me a whole lot because growing up, I wanted to be like them growing up, wanted to be in the streets, wanted to play around. And when I see them get locked up and come home and go right back to jail, it gave me a clear understanding where path I wanted to go in life. The biggest thing that's close to home to me is my brother being put into prison. He went away for murder, and he's now locked away for 25 years to life. And it's rough to see him locked away.
I lived in Oakland, California, which is a minority community city, and I moved to Bellevue, Washington, which is the complete opposite, and it's a majority city. And I noticed a lot of differences as far as what happens when one of my friends from Oakland was arrested. Whether it's both of them, my friend from Oakland and Bellevue may have both weed possession or something, but the sentencing was so different. And just the interaction with the criminal justice system in Oakland versus Bellevue was alarming to me.
The biggest thing is just really being able to give them a true, hug, and to be able to really sit down with them and really talk to them and really get his mind focused on what's next. Because at the end of the day, we can harp on the past and, really try to take joy in the moment. But at the end of the day, we know there's a hard society and there's a hard world out there for everybody. And if we don't get him equipped with the right tools and with the right mindset, he'll go right back. When you just constantly locking folks up, you are taking their learning experience away from them. So when they get out, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to act. And they got to go back and repeat the same situation that they were when they were out the first time, and they end up back in prison.
Mass incarceration just affects, it's not only me, because I've had family members that have been arrested. I've had family members that have gone in and out of the system, but it's bigger than that. It's my community. I think it has this mental effect or on my community where they feel like it's a cycle. One person's arrested in a family, one person goes to prison. Well, when the next person goes, it's normal. It's almost normalized mass incarceration within my communities. So I think that it has this negative effect where you just almost assume that this is where I should be going.
Everybody needs role models, and everybody knows the biggest role model is your parents. Your children gonna look up to them, and when you lock them up, you take away that role model.
I think it'll take change within both the communities that this is affecting and as well as communities outside of the communities it's affecting. So within the communities affecting, there's accountability. There's resources need to be in the communities because, if you see your parent going through this and then nothing's changed within that time, then when it's your turn and you go through the same thing, it's normal. And then I think also we can't be afraid to have people outside of the community talking about mass incarceration, talking about this cycle and trying to figure out how they can make a difference despite the fact that it may not affect them at all.
If we all messed up and went to prison and lost our lives, we will all want the same thing when we came home. Someone to look at us and give us a second chance. And I think, a lot of people in this world when they look at a person that came from prison, you see them as a person beneath us, and they're actually not. They just another person that made a mistake.
I just want to credit Project Return a lot because I think that people are afraid to go into this field or this particular just this field. They're afraid to touch prisoners. They're afraid to touch prisoners, because there is this negative connotation attached to them. And I think that I just really credit them for not being afraid to help these people, not being afraid to go in there and fight for them when other people won't, not being afraid to provide resources when, again, other people won't.
I think giving someone a job is the ultimate thing to give a person who's looking for a chance to prove themselves in this world. That's why I back Project Return.
People just can't be afraid to realize that this could happen to you, number one, and even if people who are guilty, that there's no reason why they can't have a second chance.
Do you have anything to add to that?
Oh, she knocked it.